So what is a cloud network engineer? So a cloud network engineer is someone that is responsible for planning, designing, building, configuring the network constructs or network architecture within a cloud environment. So a lot of times you're not only responsible for ensuring that resources are deployed within its environment, which is typically virtual machines and databases, ensuring that those can communicate with each other, but you're also ensuring that those resources can securely and safely communicate outside of that environment as well. So a lot of times you'll be responsible for setting up direct connectivity to, say, your on-prem or to the outside world, like the internet. And it all needs to be done in a way that, again, is safe, but also performant, that scales, and is also highly available. That's a big important thing, usually within cloud environments. So that's the high level of what a cloud network engineer does. This role really, it bridges the gap between a network engineer, a traditional one, and the enterprise side of the fence with, say, a cloud architect. So not only are you worried about the typical things a network engineer would be worried about, such as packets getting from A to B, but you also need to know things about cloud native constructs as well, whether that's IAM policies or infrastructure as code or API calls. There's a lot of aspects of cloud that is very critical to know, kind of core concepts that you'll learn along the way, but will really make or break you as far as understanding how things are deployed as far as being a cloud network engineer. Because unlike being on the, say, the other side of the fence, being in-house at an enterprise, you're really not able to come up with, let's say, creative solutions sometimes when it comes to routing or when it comes to even switching. There really isn't a such thing as layer two switching in the cloud world. There's some exceptions to that, of course, but essentially you'll be dealing with certain design patterns, certain configuration routing patterns that you can't really break, or you can't really force a traffic to go a certain direction. You have to kind of learn how to build out your architecture so things can scale and, again, be secure, performant, and highly available. So some of the tasks you'll handle as a cloud network engineer will include designing virtual networks, building out CIDR blocks and ranges to support that. Again, setting up communications to other private networks such as on-prem or sometimes even other cloud providers. That's a big thing now when it comes to cloud network architectures. There's a lot of multi-cloud because customers, they really want to have a footprint in all the clouds for various reasons, whether it's just for more disaster recovery or having the ability to use the best of breed of whatever that cloud offers. That's a lot of times while you'll see a customer or yourself as working for an enterprise environment have multiple cloud connections into an environment. And sometimes these clouds need to talk to each other and talk back to your on-prem and talk out to the internet as well to an external client. So that's very common to see that nowadays. Other things you'll be responsible for is typically load balancers. That's a big one. Firewalls, security rules, some of the more cloud native security constructs within any cloud provider. You'll also be responsible for ensuring that things such as zero trust between different resources available. Like a big thing is building out your infrastructure so that essentially one workload environment, say your production environment, cannot talk to your dev environment. That's a big thing usually when it comes to best practices. So with that said, network engineering is still a highly in-demand field. No, it's a very good place to be, but the world of cloud is also just as good, if not even more coveted nowadays by employers. And a big reason for that is just the massive amount of scale and also how quick you can move within the cloud world. So what can take days, weeks, months sometimes to build out when it comes to a network in the on-prem, you can do that within inside of an hour in a cloud environment. So you can move very fast within the cloud world. And also, it kind of changes from a business perspective, uh, really how you go about planning for these type of new projects or initiatives. Instead of having to get a bunch of money and have a bunch of capital at the start to build a project, you can kind of just build things as it comes and pay as you go. That way of thinking really accelerates businesses to really do things at a much faster pace than they could before by having infrastructure on-prem. So being a cloud network engineer is a very niche and unique position. So a lot of times we'll see that many people have either the skill set as a network engineer, and they've been doing that for a while, or they have many years of experience being a cloud architect, building those things. And the cloud architect will get their hands dirty with some of the network constructs because it's a must. The network is the first thing that needs to be laid. It's like a framework. You have to build out the network usually before you can deploy any type of resource. But a cloud architect will a lot of times build the bare bones to get the job done. They have good general knowledge of these network constructs, but that's not their day to day. Once the network is built, they typically move on and never come back to it. But you, as a cloud network engineer, you have the opportunity to really be a specialized asset for any company, really, by having knowledge about not only the particular product or services within the cloud when it comes to networking, but also the architectures and how to do things best practice and bring out even new ideas that, a lot of times like cloud architect will not have the time to really dive into. So it's a great place to be. It's a very unique build, very cool, it's cutting edge. And in the next lessons, we're going to really dive into more of the tools and things you'll be using throughout your day to day. So let's join that lesson now.